So the Cataract Canyon trip runs through nearly 100 miles of the Colorado River as it flows through Canyonlands National Park. The river starts about 15 miles downstream of Moab and then flows pretty much to what once was Lake Powell and Height Marina. And so the trip consists of a couple days of flat water, so kind of a scenic float going downstream, and then there's a day and a half of some pretty awesome whitewater.
So what's discussed in pre-trip meetings before the trip, really setting that expectation of what the student trip leaders are, as well as the expectation of the students themselves. So it's a cooperative trip where everybody works together to accomplish cooking, cleaning up, packing the raft, because it's a lot of work. So the first day in Moab, you've just woken up from driving from Logan. You've camped overnight at the put-in, so it's rig day. So all the rafts are getting blown up, the frames are getting put on the boats, everybody's looking for something to do. So once the boats are packed, we create what's called like a barge. So we'll have the rafts that are tied together, and we actually have a motor on the back. So we'll drive this huge barge just on about 20 miles of flat water, which is awesome. So you don't have to do any of the paddling. You can just look around, take naps on the boat. There's just a lot of relaxing that goes into the first day. And then we finally will get to camp, pull off, set up the kitchen, the bathroom, kind of the campsites, create perimeters for where we want people to go and where we don't want them to go, just for their own safety, and then have a great dinner.
So the quality of food on the trip was actually very good. It's a little bit embarrassing, but I actually think I ate better on that trip than I had like the entire semester of going to school. When we came in for the original meeting, we kind of were brainstorming about what we were going to eat. And I was, had the impression like, we gotta pack light, all this stuff. So I'm like, why don't we just have some protein bars and stuff like that? And I think Connor was the guy who said, well, you can have fun eating your protein bar. I'm gonna make myself some lasagna. And I was like, whoa. So the hike to the petroglyphs were pretty fun. I really wasn't expecting to see all that much in terms of like really ancient artwork, I guess you could say. When we got up there, I was really impressed to see how much of it was still kind of viewable and how much it had been preserved. The craziest thing and kind of the most surreal experience that I had was kind of seeing the handprints that they had left and kind of like comparing your hand to like the size of the hands of people, since time immemorial. So that was a pretty cool thing.
My favorite memories of hiking over the ridge involved people would do it in their flip-flops and tank top and just go for it. So the bottom's really sunny and like it's super hot, you're sweating, And then you get up to the top and you just have these awesome views. So you can see the river from 360 degrees, and it's just a great place to take pictures.
The groover is the bathroom that we bring on the river. It's this big, it's like you have your little ammo cans, but it's a big rocket box. And they used to not have the toilet seat and the liner in it. Like when guys would use it for militaries, they'd just sit right on the rocket box and it would create grooves like on their butt from where they sat. And that's why it's called the groover.
You know, in my mind, I was imagining, we were just gonna dig a hole and do your business, but when they actually pulled out a, Army surplus ammo box, I was like, man, that's pretty cool, I guess, right? The hike up to the dollhouse was a pretty interesting experience for me personally, because the beginning of the hike was pretty tough. It was pretty steep, but by the time we got into like a little bit of a saddle, it was pretty incredible. I don't think I've ever in my life experienced so much contrast in color like I have in the natural environment that was at the dollhouse. I mean, the sky was as blue as you could possibly get. The greens were more green, and then just the red earth was just incredible. And I think Garrett actually, one of the trip leaders, Garrett, he actually gave us a lot of information in terms of the geographical area and a lot of information on like on the flora and stuff like that.
Whenever you go with Garrett, he's just like, look at this, let me tell you about geology. And you're just like, oh.
The most exciting rapid day that we have on Cataract Canyon is when we do hit the big drops, which are the largest and the most technical rapids on the section of river. They provide a lot of excitement, a lot of opportunity to get splashed, get wet, and sometimes even fall out of the boat. We do have boats that now and again, very rarely, do go upside down and things like that, so it can provide a little bit more excitement for people, but it's a great part of the canyon.
Lining up for Big Drop 3 is one of the scariest things you'll ever do.
We had to eddy out for the guides to scope it out. And slowly but surely we see each guide come back from this hill that they had climbed to scope out the route. Finally our guide Riley comes down. And our other guide Becky says, "How does it look?" Riley says, "It looks pretty rough."
We let Greg, the program coordinator, go first, kind of show us where he wanted to go. He almost didn't make it, so one of his tubes got sucked and he was struggling. So I was second. That made me super nervous, just that he was struggling. So I decided to take a little bit different route than him. Went down the first little wave, realized there's a big hole on the left side that we kind of got sucked into. Your heart's racing the whole time. The front of the boat gets stuck and you're just pulling with everything that you have to try and get out of that hole.
last day of the Cataract trip is always a little bit bittersweet to me. I'm leaving all of these friends that I've really gotten to know and enjoyed the whole week with, and it's just the home stretch, and people are kind of sad to get off the river and kind of excited to be in an air-conditioned car, and it's really good though. You get a lot of time on the ride back to reflect on your trip.
You know, at the beginning of the trip, everyone was super welcoming, especially the trip leaders and everything like that, and everybody was super helpful. But by the end of the week, I mean, there's just memories that you make with people who you might not have otherwise come into contact with, you know, people of different majors or different walks of life or whatever. And by the end of that week, I mean, there were just some pretty strong, like pretty awesome bonds that were made. I still actually talk to a lot of the trip leaders and a lot of people that I met on the trip, so that's probably been my favorite thing.